I spent $59 and a full month testing TradingCanyon's premium indicator. This is a totally unbiased, unsponsored, unsolicited review. Are these paid indicators worth it or not so much? Here's what actually happened. Normally, I make educational content around different day trading concepts, and I don't normally review paid indicators, but honestly, I'm always just interested in tools that could give me an edge, and they could very well be worth it. So I figured I'd try out TradingCanyon and let you know how it went. So TradingCanyon offers a whole suite of paid indicators. These can all be added to your chart on TradingView, and they're all really easy to use, and they look great. There's a ton of them though. Adaptive Delta, Market Radar, Trading Edge, Ultra Trend, and a bunch of others. They're really all over the board. They promise customizable settings for different market conditions, and they really position themselves as a tool for professional traders to have a whole suite of options in their tool belt. So I want to start with the positives. The service and the presentation are all really good. The website is easy to use, it's slick, first impressions matter, and TradingCanyon really nails that. Service, delivery, and customer support were all really great. I signed up for the free trial and then paid for a month of TradingCanyon. I got my indicators right away. They were really responsive. Everything was really good on that front. I definitely think if I had had any issues, they would have resolved them really promptly based on the experience I had. Everything with them is just very clean and professional. These indicators as well look really good. They're well designed, they're easy to read, and they integrate really smoothly with TradingView without cluttering your interface too much. You get a real variety of options with TradingCanyon. It's like I said before, they have like 10 indicators and different strategies around all of them. If you want to trade trend following, momentum stuff, reversals, you can definitely find something that will work there. 7-day free trial. I love it. I really think with these kind of things, you just have to see if it works for you and your rhythm and how you like to trade. And a 7-day free trial is a really good amount of time for you to get a feel for that. Straight off the bat, in my opinion, there's really no reason for you not to at least try out TradingCanyon. They have a 7-day free trial. If it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. More things that I liked. The signals make sense. It feels kind of silly to say, but like if you just put it on your chart, you're like, yeah, these seem like good, reasonable signals. Like, of course, they're an indicator. It's not a crystal ball. Like, not every signal is good. Like, that's just how things work. But generally speaking, these are solid signals. If you were to combine these with a really good money management and risk management strategy, and you can manage your trades, like I think you could have a lot of success with them, for sure. Last point I really appreciated about TradingCanyon is there's no repainting. This is really crucial when trying to look at indicators and decide how effective they are. Once a signal is there, it stays there. With some indicators, they'll repaint, or basically look at past candles and change the signals on the chart. There's reasons they do this, but it can be really confusing for people using the indicators and give a really false impression of how effective the signals are. So of course, this is, I think, a balanced review. It wasn't all sunshine and roses. There were a couple of things that I didn't really like about TradingCanyon, and I think my biggest problem was the documentation. The thing is, they have tons of indicators, and there is certainly overlap between those different indicators. At the same time, this is all proprietary. So they're paid indicators. They're taking different existing tools, I'm sure, and they're making an indicator out of it, right? But because it's proprietary, they're not gonna tell you exactly how this indicator is working. And honestly, like that's all well and good. I really appreciate and respect that this is their proprietary software. The problem I had is that their documentation would say things like, this is a momentum-based indicator. And that's great, but it doesn't really tell me why I would use this indicator over a different one in their suite and the exact advantages it would offer me and what kind of market it would work best in. It was just kind of hard to figure out. This kind of leaned into my second point of it felt like there were kind of too many options without clear guidance. Because the documentation didn't really tell me exactly when or why I would use one indicator over another, I just felt like there were so many options and they all kind of felt the same to me. When I added different indicators to my chart, it's clear they're not the same. They're all looking at different things in different configurations. But if I have two trend following indicators, like extreme direction and ultra trend, why would I use one and not the other? I'm absolutely positive that there are scenarios and markets that work better for one indicator or the other, but I had a hard time figuring out which to use. And certainly, like, I could just pick one and go with it, but it's clear there's so much thought and energy put into these tools, I'd love to use the right one. So continuing on, I kind of felt like using the customizable settings felt like guesswork. This definitely leans into the documentation problems I have, but they have different settings for all the indicators that you can tweak, but I don't know generally why I would use one setting over another. To their credit, they do provide some suggested example settings to try, but I don't know why they're suggesting those parameters and the things I would want to tweak and why I would tweak them for different markets. So I'll put an example on the screen. What is a scalp multiplier? Why is it 0.5? Should it be 0.5 if I'm scalping on the 1 minute time frame or on the 5 minute time frame? What's the R filter? And why do I want it at 0 versus something else? Period is 14, but should I change that if I want a different risk profile? These are all the questions I had. Their documentation says that you're going to get the best results if you can customize the settings to the exact markets that you trade in. Or you could use their default settings and have a good experience as well. And that's good advice in theory, but it doesn't really help me when I don't know what these settings do. Ultimately, it just really felt like I was flying blind playing with these settings and trying to figure out which one was the best for me. So let's talk pricing. Trading Canyon is $59 per month with discounts if you purchase it by the quarter or annually. So I think if you genuinely connect with these indicators and they become part of your trading style basically at all, then they're very probably worth it. If they help you identify one additional trade per month, even per quarter, or keep you out of one losing trade per month, they've absolutely paid for themselves. I think the pricing is really reasonable. The issue for me wasn't the money. I couldn't get deep enough into them to really figure out how to leverage them effectively. They didn't end up becoming part of my core trading system, but that's just based on my experience, my trading style, and what I want to see from my tools. I actually think for a lot of people, these are great. I think if you're a beginner and you want something that's nice and easy to read, these are awesome tools. So here's my final verdict. I think Trading Canyon is really solid. They definitely deliver what they promise, tons of good indicators with great customer service. But for me and how I trade, I wanted a little bit more customization. I absolutely recommend that you try their 7-day free trial. I think a week of active trading should absolutely give you a good idea of whether or not these will fit into your system. I would say during the trial, just focus on 2 or 3 indicators and try and figure out if those work for you, than trying to look at all 10 or 15 or however many there are. If you're someone who really learns by doing and wants to play with these and play with their settings, these might be awesome for you. But I think if you want a little bit less of a black box, these may not be the right choice. Have you tried Trading Canyon or any other premium indicators? If you have, I'd really love to hear about your experience in the comments. Also, if you want to see me review any other indicators, let me know. I think there is value out there and I'd be more than happy to try them out and make a video about it. Like I said earlier, most of the content I put out is free educational content about different day trading concepts. If you want to see some of those videos, I'll put them on the screen for you. If this honest, unbiased review helped you out, click the like button. If you want to see more content from me, you could subscribe. Either way, I'm Andrew and I'll see you around.